Hey everybody, it's Ray, Two Drunk Brothers Garage. It's the day after Father's Day, and yesterday I took Goldie in. I was gonna go pick up some stuff at O'Reilly's, which I did do, and then I was gonna come back home and start washing her down and kind of cleaning up the interior a little bit, just with some vinyl cleaner and everything that I picked up at O'Reilly's. But I got to O'Reilly's yesterday and ordered the parts. I'll show you guys what we got coming up. But then I backed out of the parking spot and went to pull forward, and a vehicle was pulling out of a parking spot, and I jumped on the brakes and I stalled her like I did in the first video when we took it for a ride in the cul-de-sac here. And so I put it in park. I went to start it. She wouldn't start up, and I opened up the hood, got underneath there. I couldn't find anything wrong. Went and tried it again, and she fired up, and great. And I went to put her in drive to pull off, and no go. I couldn't get the horseshoe shifter to unlock. So anyhow, long story short, I was there about 3 hours tying up 3 spots at O'Reilly's, parked right across them in the parking lot, and people coming and going, and climbed down underneath, and I had to unhook the shift mechanism to the side of the transmission to get her to, I could get it in neutral. I actually got it in drive, and I was able to start it with drive. But obviously our neutral safety switch isn't working, because with it manually selected in drive, I was able to get it to start up, and I drove her home and parked her here. So another thing to work on, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what I got, and I'll kind of show you what I did yesterday in the parking lot of O'Reilly's. I was a little frazzled and everything, so I didn't film anything. I should have snapped a picture or two at least, but I didn't. I just wanted to get the car out of everybody's way, which, like I said, took a few hours, and I missed a nice sunshiny day that I could have cleaned her up a little bit with the power washer and everything. And today we got overcast and a little chilly. It's only like 51 today. So anyhow, I'll go ahead and show you guys what's in the trunk, and I'll show you what I did. So this obviously is a column shifter, and I don't know if it's not depressing, and that's the other thing. This all of a sudden started popping apart. But you know, you squeeze 2 pieces and you should be able to move it. Well, right now it's not even, it's just not moving in here. The shifter on the side of the transmission moves. I can slide underneath the car and move it by hand, but this is locked up. So I think I got to pull this handle off and look at this, tear this column apart, and see if something, when I jumped on the brakes, and I overreacted a little bit and really jumped on the brakes. I jumped hard enough to stall the engine out. You know, a little panic there because I seen a car pulling in front of me, but I don't know if something slid in here or if the cable bound up or what, but I got to go ahead and maybe dig into this afternoon. I don't know if you guys will be able to see down there, but where I got it illuminated, that horseshoe piece, you can see that I got the shifter pulled part of the halfway out of that. That's what I needed to do in order to get that selected in the drive. So it was stuck in park, so I couldn't even, you know, push the car out of the way. And then that it's going to be kind of hard because it's focusing on the wrong stuff here. But anyhow, I got to investigate the shift cable that goes up to the shifter to find out why it did what it did. Transmission still works fine. It was nothing physically wrong with the transmission, because once I got it in drive and got her started, I was able to drive home, no problems. Shifted into all 3 gears. So just another little thing to investigate here on Goldie. And in the trunk here. Well, in the trunk, let me show you in the trunk. Thankfully, I had the tarp, so I wasn't laying out. I was in nice clothes, so I was out rolling around on the asphalt in nice clothes, but that's all right. I had the tarp that I laid on at least. So these are rear brake drums, rear shoes, 2 wheel cylinders. I also ordered that's a set of booster cables that I put in here because I knew the charging system wasn't working. As you guys know, in the previous video, we changed out the voltage regulator, but it's still not charging. Well, O'Reilly's tested it again for me yesterday before I had the problem. And it still says the voltage regulator is bad, and it's a brand new voltage regulator. So I went ahead and got an alternator, and they called me here today. The alternator's in and the front brake parts are in. So gonna get an alternator, and brakes are next on Goldie. And while I was climbing around down underneath there yesterday, I also found a leaking brake line about right there, up tucked up on the back side of the frame. So, but we're gonna keep pecking away at her and make her mechanically sound is the goal. I would love, I'm gonna head into O'Reilly's and I'd love to take Goldie, but because of the shifting issues right now, I think today I'm just gonna take the little red car and put a few miles on her and maybe run her through a car wash. He or she hasn't been cleaned yet in this spring, so put a few miles on the little Honda. All right, just got to O'Reilly's. I went in to pick up the stuff. Got the front brake shoes, the 2 hardware kits, front and rear. Got the alternator. They were supposed to have me 2 front wheel cylinders, but they left the Anchorage store this morning, but they never got delivered out here to the Valley store. So I gotta wait until tomorrow, thanks to missing wheel cylinders. Oh well, we'll get these back and put them in the trunk of Goldie with the rest of the parts. And yesterday, Goldie was parked right there from about the Impala to that red car, and that little oil stain right there by that tan thing is all from Goldie. Yeehaw. All right, there's the 2 hardware kits, the front disc, or the front drum brakes that I just got. This was the stuff I showed you guys earlier. Alternator. I'm gonna actually pull him out. I'm gonna work on that console, but hopefully that doesn't take too long, and then I can maybe change that out right now while we're sitting here at the driveway and see if we got a charging system. If I put that in and don't have a charging system, then maybe it is that little tiny resistor on that voltage regulator, but time will tell. But for right now, I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can get that shifter moving, unlocked. I don't know, maybe the cable underneath is messed up, and maybe I should get the jack out and jack him up in the air a little bit first to look at that. I don't know, maybe pull the diesel out and pull him in the garage so I'm not rolling around in the dirt. I don't know, folks, I'm thinking here. So underneath the Buick emblem here on the center console, and the glue released on this because it got wet, and this is the metal piece that allows that to snap down. I'll have to re-glue that, but there's a bolt there, There's nothing in that one, and that's just carpeting, but it feels loose, so maybe just a bolt there, and then in here by Timon or Pumbaa, I guess that's Pumbaa, there's those two there. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove those two and see if that will loosen the column up. And then I got to see on this guy, once I get it off again, everything's always so difficult one-handed, folks. There it goes. I got that to pop up. There's a couple springs. But I'm hoping there's maybe, yep, there's a couple little tiny screws right there and right there. I hope that allows that black piece to come up, so then the console will slide up over the silver pieces there. So let me go get a couple tools. Oh, and there's screw there. Maybe it's these side screws to pull that off, but I'll get it figured out. Show you guys as I work along on it. One good thing from my little knee-jerk reaction yesterday of slamming on the brakes was when I went around to the passenger side last night to roll up the window, I seen that tucked out. I pulled it out. That was underneath the seat. That's the piece that goes right there. So that's a happy little accident, I would say, being able to put that back on there when we're all finished. So anyhow, always something. I got my magnetized thing. I put those little screws in there. I got a little quarter drive stuff. I'm gonna pull these out, see what I get. Two little screws in the side hold the black plastic piece on. Those, what I thought were screws, those are just where the springs, the spring guides. I don't see anything else holding it on here, but the black plastic piece isn't going to come all the way up because it's hitting on the silver piece right there. But I think that whole silver piece should come up. I'm just not sure. I just got to figure out how that whole thing, because I believe the steering column still, or the center console still needs this off to slide up over the grooves. I haven't even tackled the bolts yet until I get this apart. Well, I went ahead and downloaded the schematics, and just as I thought, section 3 here, trim plate, spring handle, trigger, screw 4, I only pulled out 2, so I gotta go look to see if I can find those other 2, but it says to be assembled after installation of console, so I need to take those off first to remove the console. Thanks to teambuick.com. Good website, a lot of good information. So there is another screw right there, but once again, the piece that I need to slide down to get to that is, I need that to slide down, and that's this inner slotted piece. I can't, and I was pushing down on those poles, those pegs up there where the springs is, but I can't get that to push down, and those go down and connect down in here, so I can't get that down in this opening to remove the screw, so I can remove all this, so I can remove the console. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this screw out, pull those 2 back screws out, and just see if I can lift this console up. I can lift it up about 3 inches and maybe see up underneath there. See if just something slid forward and jammed up in there and keeping that from actuating. I don't know. I don't know. 1/4 inch screws there, and that one was a 3/8. Okay, got those 2 out, got that one out. Console is, yes, I think it's gonna slide up a little bit, maybe. I don't know. I'll try to prop something back there. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this out. I did see this broken spring in here. And then while I was climbing around, I see a broken spring there that's hooked to the mount for the seat. So that might be part of the slide the seat back and forward. I don't know. I think it's all the way back, but just another thing to look at. But I did find a pretty neat old check. I think we showed this to you guys already. Dave's Bodybuilders. $10. That's a pretty old check, I'm guessing. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw this stuff away, except for Pumbaa. Pumbaa's gonna stay. Kenny showed up after work, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
He stopped over to get some stuff for another project. He didn't know I was gonna lasso him into this, but
I'm always willing to help.
Yeah, hell yeah. Help drink beer, that's what he's doing. But
Yeah.
once again, we got a little conundrum. In order to get to that screw, and I was looking at the instructions, this has to be in the neutral or drive position, because this pulls up a little metal bar down there, and right now that metal bar is sitting down in the park location notch. And then once you lift up, you pull up on this, it pulls that bar up out of that notch, and then you can pull the shifter back, and then it drops it down into a deeper valley, right? It's not a notch. The only one that's an actual notch is the park. And I can't get this out of the park. I can see up in there, and I can see that notch and everything. That bar is very corroded and very rusty down in its notches. So I've been kind of messing around with this console and everything. There is 2 bolts down at the top of this armature, but I can't get to they're a 3/8 bolt, and we tried to get up in there. I don't want to break the console. The console in this car is actually in pretty dang good shape, so I don't want to just go all gorilla on it and break it out of here. So I'm gonna just get some PB Blaster and spray down on those rusty parts. The instructions say you're supposed to lube it, keep it well lubed, and obviously that has not happened in a long time. So we're gonna go ahead and put some PB penetrant on there. Maybe it'll help break this loose. I don't know what happened yesterday when I jumped on the brakes. Kenny said maybe I overreacted and slammed,
Bumped it.
hit it harder with my hand, and I very well could have, folks. Like I told you, I had a knee-jerk overreaction. Yeah, so we're drinking beers and still working on Goldie.
Our favorite pastime.
Our favorite pastime. All right, folks. We sprayed down in here. We even sprayed PB Blaster down in there. Tried to soak everything down in there just to see if it'll soak. We're gonna let it soak overnight. It's getting pretty late in the evening here. Kenny's gonna take off and head home, but yeah, the old center console kind of fighting us. All right, everybody. Not really interesting content. Still fighting getting that console. It's all the gear shifter won't come out of park. I mean, it's I don't know what I did. It's a conundrum, but hopefully soaking down. After I sprayed some more and more in there, I dumped a whole bunch of stuff. I'll let it sit overnight. I'll come out tomorrow, and
Hopefully it'll go.
I just need it to come back. When we were just talking, once I get that off and get the console out, I probably won't put the console back in, because the one thing on the interior that will probably for sure happen is new carpeting with a little bit of sound deadener underneath it. So we would have to pull the console out again then anyhow. So the console will probably come out and stay out for a little bit. But glad Kenny stopped over, and that's like 3 nights in a row now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good run.
Yeah. The wife ain't mad at me.
That's always a good thing. But if you guys like the video, please
Hit that thumbs up button.
Yeah.
Comment.
Subscribe.
Subscribe.
We appreciate it.
Yep.
Cheers,
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, brother. Oh. Sorry, folks. Excuse me. Dang.
Corn beer does that to you.
Yeah. Anyhow, guys,
Thanks for watching.
thanks for watching.
Ken.
Ray, Two Drunk Brothers Garage. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. It is pretty tasty.
It is.
Oh, just seen a post, Busch Light Facebook page. They announced Busch Light Lime. So that'll be interesting. Gonna have to try that one.
It'd be like Bud Light Lime.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyhow, they just announced that today. This is the day after Father's Day, whatever.
So, yeah.
16th
Yeah.
June. It was on their Facebook page. So anyhow, maybe you guys will see a little green can in here
Yeah. Maybe.
eventually. Gotta try them.
Yeah.
Can't find the apples, so
Yeah.
oh well. Anyhow, guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate it.
Yep.